Enjoying our morning coffee, bit of toast. Quick update. Day 17 for our budget aquarium, dirted aquarium, 64 litres. Father fish method, as I say, on a budget. Cheap substrate. Some cheap white cloud mountain minnows. Few shrimp we got free. Some plants I bought, some plants I had. We had this little Fluval Edge 19 or Fluval Desktop 19. We removed its filter from inside it and put a sponge filter in there instead. Good deep substrate, fine substrate. Couple of bits of Java moss. It's day 4 for the shrimp tank. It's only just starting off. We've stuck in a bit of blanched spinach leaf this morning to see are they interested in it. They're still nibbling away at this shrimp stick that we put in, but they look they're quite content in there. There's 17 in there at the minute. I see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So at the minute I see 8. There's probably more. I think there's one there as well. You can just see the shadow of him behind the 8. So that's 9 out of the 17. So there's probably a lot more in the back of the filter and up through them wee bags. When I take out them wee bags, I'll have to be very careful that no shrimp has climbed inside them. We probably will empty the bags into a jug of water, cut them open. Anyway, to see half the shrimp is quite good. Normally in a shrimp colony you wouldn't even be seeing nowhere near half. But we fed the white clouds this morning. They haven't been fed for 2 full days. They weren't fed yesterday and they weren't fed during that day of the storm because we weren't sure when the power was going to come back on. And we didn't feed them, so they wolfed the food into them this morning. Give them about half a cup of that little spoon that you've seen in other videos. Couple of things this morning. These shrimp, they seem happy enough in here too. They don't look stressed. They haven't really touched the shrimp stick. Whether there's something degrading these leaves anyway, especially that one. So whether that's the shrimp doing that during the night time or not. Our white clouds are all perfectly happy. They're all quite happy. Our Zustaflora has started to take off. By the end of this week, it'll have reached the top. That's some going in a couple of weeks. It's a really, really great plant. I see some rhizomes starting to sprout out of that grass type plant. Can't for the life of me remember what you call that, but I see 2 plantlets have already started to sprout out of that in 17 days. I don't notice any from anywhere else. We've stuck in a few bits. That's actually Java fern. It's the same type of fern that's glued onto that wood. Now, they say you don't plant it. I have it planted in my big tank and it's growing away in gravel. Now, whether it'll grow in sand or not, don't know, but we're going to see. It's it's starting to, well, we'll see what it does. Them's little plantlets that were growing on the end of the leaves that had come off in my big tank, they were floating about the surface. Now, this thing that I planted, it was just a little piece that had broke off. It's actually sprouted 2 new leaves. It had no roots on it at all when I stuck it in there. So it's doing something as well. The Anubis that I took out of the goldfish tank, it's sprouted a new leaf there. You can see the rhizome is starting to extend out on that one. And this one up the top has started to sprout some new leaves as well, so it's going to come back to life. Thanks be to God, for the goldfish had really hammered that. There's a couple of other things, a few bits of shrimp pellet. I'll probably take them out. There's one bit there. There's one bit there. They're getting a bit of fuzz on them. Something over there, I don't know what that is. I don't know whether that's a bit of rock wool off some of the plants. We'll fish that out too, whatever that is. We had a little tiny snail. I showed it on one of the videos the other day. Now, I was hoping it was a mini ram's horn, but we'll try and get him. In a few days, he's grew huge. So I take it it's a pond snail. I take it it's come in off the detritus and stuff that I took in from my wildlife pond. Now, from what he was a few days ago when I seen him, he was literally 2 millimeters in diameter when I seen him. Now he's just short of a centimeter, and he's zooming around that tank like nobody's business. So whether they breed asexually or whether they need a mate, I have no idea, but I'm sure we will find out in the future. If we get a bit of colony of snails going, we may take some, throw them into our big tank, see how they do in there. I've tried snails in my big tank before, mini ram's horns, and the fish just eat them like they just never any sign of them again. I've put hundreds, literally hundreds at a time in there, and they've never amounted to anything, never ever seen them again. Could be alive and well in the gravel in my big tank, who knows, but I don't think so. Anyway, our shrimp all seem happy enough for the time being. The acid test will be if we get a bit of a colony going in this dirted tank. We'll see. Maybe gases escaping from the substrate will kill them eventually once the substrate starts to mature. I don't know. It's all a learning curve for me, guys. So if you're interested, you just have to follow the journey. Still a pile of detritus in the back there. I don't see any. Well, there is a couple of new sprouts and some new looking growth on our alodia. Nice green growth. So our plants anyway seem to be liking this father fish setup, because it's just like it was threw together. You seen the video, 5 hours threw it together. No root tabs, no fertilizers, no nothing. Water in, plants in, fish in. So I'm quite pleased at the moment the way it's going. As I say, the acid test will be if the white clouds breed and if the shrimp colony gets going. Our little shrimp tank that we're hoping to start a colony of these yellow shrimp in, They're happily munching away there. There's 17 in this tank. The chances of seeing 17 or counting 17 is second to none. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guy back there on the rock. 6, 7, 8, 9. One's just found a bit of spinach that I put in, blanched spinach. 10. I can see 11. There's one there behind that opaqueness. That's 12. Probably a few in the back of the filter and that. It's normally a good place for them to be. But the acid test for this as well will be if we can get this shrimp colony up and running, get it up to a couple of hundred shrimp. We'll see. It'll be nice when this Java moss starts to take off. May not take off for a couple of weeks till we get a suitable amount of nitrates and stuff. We'll see. If I start finding more and more snails in the other tank, I will chuck a few in here, which will add a bit to the bio load. We are planning on using some of this water. I may even use some water from my goldfish tank that will be full of nitrates. I may put it in my shrimp tank to give the nitrates a wee bit of a boost in my shrimp tank. When I do a water change, I don't know yet. I haven't really decided on that. But anyway, that's it for this morning, folks. Happy budget fish keeping. Bye bye.